Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
And this week we welcome, what is your official title now, Aaron Biddle?
Training coordinator.
So are you recruiting at all anymore?
Is this breaking
Yes.
news? Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's been that way for a little over a month now.
Mm-hmm.
I still am recruiting. Got a small desk and keeping my hands in it, but my main objective is to get the new people up and running as quickly as we can and making them as successful as possible.
There we go.
That sounds great.
That's what that would explain why he's here in town.
It is.
Yeah.
And like any good remote employee and or nurse that... There goes my head. I just lost.
Oh, your headset? Your headset?
Yeah, I lost it. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Let me do a little
Finicky.
technical work
Yeah.
for you.
Like 4 inch. Yeah,
There we go.
There you go.
All right. I'm
My
gonna
wife
start
thinks
that
4 inches is way different than what the ruler says.
Holy smokes. What a ringer we brought in today.
all right.
I should have known with Bill.
We can
here.
edit this out, right?
We don't need to.
No, it's live.
It's a beer podcast.
Yeah. Okay. So like any good nurse recruiter that comes to Omaha and or traveling nurse that comes through and visits us, you brought us some beer.
Yeah.
So tell us about this. There's some argument as how you pronounce
Argument sounds harsh.
disagreement.
Yeah, let's go
Maybe?
with that. It's up in the air.
Collective discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think it's...
I think it's Dakine.
That's what I'm going to go with. Dakine.
I'm going to go with the YouTube pronunciation. Dakine. That's what YouTube says. I don't know.
Dakine.
I mean, at least one of us will be wrong,
I don't even know.
and one of us might be right.
But it's a tropical IPA from Four Hands Brewing Company in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Have you been here, Biddle? Have you been to
Yeah,
this?
yeah. I actually went to the tap room with my 4-month-old daughter and had a couple of beers and lunch whenever I picked these up.
Good work. All right. They're all family friendly. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What kind of food situation they got there? Like an actual restaurant?
It's like a little window that you go and order some food, but I got a pimento and cheese pretzel that was pretty good.
You like the pimento?
Yeah,
It's a southern
Really?
thing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
it's real good.
I guess I've never been a pimento fan. Boy, that... Okay, so tropical IPA.
That looks very tropical.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah,
Ale brewed with honey, pineapple, and zest. And it is as golden and...
It almost looks like a sour.
Yeah.
right, right. And that was my thing is like I don't like IPAs traditionally, so I was like, well, if it's tropical, then
Yeah.
maybe I will.
It
Maybe
smells
you'll
like
like it.
pineapple.
Wowzer. Oh, my goodness.
Ooh,
That would be one that I could drink a lot of.
Yeah.
It's got that pineapple-y kind of tartness at the end.
You know what I like about it? No sweetness. Like-
Yeah, I saw somebody was talking about it that they were expecting it to be sweet, but it's not.
No,
But it's not. I mean, you
Yeah.
get a little bit from maybe the honey.
it's definitely a summer beer, almost like a wit beer, but
But there's some hops there at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
There's-
that's good.
there's-
It's really nice.
Does it list the IBUs on here at all? I don't see it. I looked it up on the Untapped already just for the rating. I'll
Okay.
look it up here for the...
So while you're looking that up,
Yep.
I branched out 2 different ways for our episode today.
Okay.
And this is the reason why I think it's Dakine.
Okay.
And this is, I don't know, it's probably totally wrong, but I know for a fact, I guess I can't say a fact, I have a very strong opinion that the font on the side of that can is supposed to be from SpongeBob.
It looks exactly
Yeah.
like...
It looks like SpongeBob, right? And there's a pineapple on the can, and they live in Bikini Bottom. I'm going Dakine. That's why I'm going Dakine, right?
I guess I can't argue with that.
So I did a little research, but I didn't do just research on SpongeBob itself because I thought, everybody kind of knows about that. But I did want to go over the marketing and like the licensing of SpongeBob and like
Okay.
how many products he's involved with.
All right.
Because it's kind of like if you're of a certain age, and Dolan's probably right in this genre.
Yep.
SpongeBob is like its own universe, right? Like
True.
it has characters that everybody knows. It's everywhere, or at least it was. I'm assuming it's still around.
Oh, yeah.
So it was kind of interesting to me that it's a huge IP that is new because most of the stuff that we're used to is older stuff.
Sure.
So that's kind of when I wanted to go at it this way. So
Dolan, were you a SpongeBob fan? He shakes his
is
head
he
yes.
still?
Still?
I am.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about SpongeBob, and I feel like it's a total homage to Ren and Stimpy, is when they do like a close up and it's real gross, like
Yes.
pictures of, like flies and that was something I always loved in Ren and Stimpy.
Boogers. And,
They do it on SpongeBob, and now I just found out recently, found on YouTube, they did like an updated version of some Mickey Mouse short cartoons.
Okay.
So like they used to do, like in the 30s and 40s, they have new ones from like the 2010s, 2015, 2018, and they're very much like Ren and Stimpy or this kind of stuff. They're like 3.5 minutes long.
Really?
They do a lot of cut shots, lots of this sort of like close-up gross stuff.
Yes.
And my kid already knows all the characters of that, so I've been pushing those on him. There's about 100 of them on YouTube, so I was like, yes, something new.
Look at that.
So that is the font. For what I could tell, comes from, it's called Krabby Patty font. It's like an actual font that
They
has
got that
been
licensed?
it's on the internet, and you can download that font. It's like a plug-in.
Wow.
And it comes from a video game from 2011 that came out. It was called, let's see what I write down here. Krabby Patties. Oh, Operation Krabby Patty. That's the game.
Okay.
So the object of the game, there's two ways you can play it. Depends on how you wake up in the morning. SpongeBob rolls out of bed on the right side of bed or the wrong side of the bed. So the wrong side is Plankton. He's the villain of this world.
Yep.
Kidnaps Gary, who's just like cat, but he's really a snail. Yeah, there
And he
you go.
meows.
And he meows. And he goes on this crazy adventure. And it's so complex, and it was a bunch of sentences and words that I recognized, but when they were in that order, I was just like, what? Like, I'm not even going to try to talk about it. It's too crazy.
Awesome.
The right side of the bed is Plankton makes a robot Mr. Krabs in order to steal the secret
The
recipe.
Krabby Patty
Krabby
secret
Patty.
formula.
And,
yeah.
And SpongeBob has to get his driving permit to drive around and capture, basically get rid of the robot and save the day. So it has all the characters and some of the storylines of the show, if you're familiar with that. But yeah, that's where that font comes from. We use that sort of style from the show and on the video game.
Okay.
There are 23 different SpongeBob video games on multiple different platforms, phone games,
Really?
PlayStation games, Xbox. Yeah, it's been all over the place.
He's very memeable, too.
Very memeable.
Away from
Is memeable a word?
Yeah,
It is now.
It's hard to say.
Memeable.
Memeable.
the Maymays.
I'm glad you brought that up, Aaron, because there are 5 distinct meme, they call them masterpiece meme action figures that SpongeBob is in.
Yes.
So there's like Handsome Squidward is one. There's the one where he looks like a caveman. SpongeBob's like a caveman.
Yeah.
There's an action figure of that. There's there's another one I looked up. There was a picture, and I was like, oh yeah, that one's funny.
The one
the one where he's like,
He's all bent
yeah,
over.
and then he's like sassing you back. Basically, that was another one. So there's
Yeah.
action figures of those memes. So they actually took the memes and made action figures out of them. You can buy them, which was awesome.
And they're big. They're like,
Oh, you've seen them?
oh, I've seen them. There's a Patrick.
Yeah.
The Patrick it's probably a good 8 to 9 inches tall.
Okay.
It's about, you can't see this because it's on the radio, obviously.
Right, yeah.
It's just, but so imagine about 8 to 9 inches tall, about 4 to 5 inches wide. And it's the Patrick where he's sitting down and he's got his mouth wide open.
Oh, yeah.
That one. I want that one so bad.
Yeah.
Never been able to find it, though.
They've only been out for like a year from what I could find.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they make those. There's 24 different Beanie Babies of SpongeBob. Different Halloween,
Whoa.
Christmas.
Like actual Beanie Babies?
yeah, like they still make those.
They
Yeah.
still make Beanie Babies.
Yeah, they still tie with the tag and all that stuff.
I guess they make Funko Pops still, so they'll make Beanie Babies.
They had a bunch of those. Christmas one.
Yeah.
I got one recently. 14 different Lego sets deal with SpongeBob.
Okay. Dolan's shaking his head like he got those for Christmas
He's like,
one
I
year or
am
something.
putting one together right now.
Yeah.
3 actual movies. One of them is coming out in 2020 in the movie theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's 3 other TV movies that they made, SpongeBob. There are 5 attractions at like Universal Studios and that sort of thing. There's rides and other things where SpongeBob or his characters are involved.
Okay.
There's been 9 music albums released from this world.
Oh my gosh.
There were 19 VHS compilation put out.
VHS.
Yeah, so that stops at like 2005.
Yeah.
There has been, let's see, what else did I write down? 94 different books as of 2012. So up into 2012, that's where the numbers stop.
Like kids' books or whatever?
Yeah,
Oh,
just like
interesting.
teaching you how to read, or here's an episode or whatever, just books. They have 12 different board games, including Operation, So it's just SpongeBob all splayed out, and you have to go through the holes. Connect 4, Monopoly, Sorry, and there's an Uno that had like 4 different versions of the SpongeBob Uno. And I tried to find out because I want to know how much it was worth, and the number I could find was $13 billion. So SpongeBob as an entity,
you don't think of
brand is what it's
SpongeBob
at.
as being like that heavy of a hitter.
Yeah, but I guess it's for people a little younger than us.
Still,
it is.
But my oldest is going to be 20 this year in November, and I remember she watched it young. I mean,
Started 20 years ago this year, 1999.
Yeah, so that makes total sense.
So he also, the guy that came up with this, used to work on Rocco's Modern Life.
Oh, I love that show.
He was on for, I think, 2 years. And when he was in art school, because he was an art student, and he also was a marine biologist, to pay the bills, one of the things he made with one of his buddies from art school was an action figure of Walt Disney, but it looked like he was frozen, so he was dead, and he was on ice, so they're called like Disney on Ice. And he sold those to make money to pay his bills while he was in college. And he still made them up until like in the mid-2000s. You could buy them. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I'm sure those were officially licensed by the Disney Corporation.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so, but he was selling them. So that's what I got for that. I mean, that was just off the top of my head real quick, just because of the font. That's where it came from.
I'm kind of sad Jamie isn't here because she loves SpongeBob. Jamie loves SpongeBob, and so she would have really enjoyed this.
Probably save her one.
Yeah. Oh, I'll save her one. That's for sure.
She can listen to it.
She can. Yeah, it's
and
true.
reminisce. I have in my house. I was just thinking, do I have anything that's SpongeBob in my house? And I do. My sister gave me a blanket for Oscar that has SpongeBob all over it, different characters.
Okay.
So I know I have that in my house. And I know I have some of the DVDs. Because there's like 30 or 40 DVDs that they put out too. I know I have a bunch of those somewhere in a box. But even my house has SpongeBob.
Huh. Well, let's go. We'll circle back around to the brewery now because I think there's some. And Biddle, I want to get your take on this too because it's always fun to have somebody that was there. So, Four Hands Brewing Company. I assume is this close to some sort of racetrack?
No, it's actually close to the stadium. It's downtown. Their tap room is downtown near the stadium.
So why four? So Four Hands is a racing term, right? It's how you measure horses.
Measure horses, right?
Right. Why Four Hands? Do you know?
I honestly I don't know. I know it was one of the. I'd say it's top 3 breweries, like counting Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis. Like Four Hands is one of the big ones there.
Interesting. So Four Hands Brewing Company, 1220 South 8th Street. That would be right downtown then. St. Louis, Missouri. Hours Monday through Thursday, noon to 10. Friday and Saturday, noon to midnight. And Sunday, 11 to 9. So they're open.
They're not messing around with hours.
That's a ton.
They have a 1220 distillery there too as well that they've partnered with. And
I saw some of that, which is interesting. So founded in 2011 by Kevin Lemp, the owner and founder. He's still very involved, and he was on the website and stuff. Four Hands is located in the LaSalle Park neighborhood of St. Louis. LaSalle Park. I don't.
The only place that I know that I went to was the one downtown, so I don't know if that's like a little subsection area.
Probably. Yep.
I'm assuming so.
Four Hands offers 6 year-round beers and a slew of seasonal beers. Their brewery and tap house right now is a 20,000 square foot footprint, with 3,000 of those square feet dedicated to barrel aging, which was something they just started. So they're using some of their own barrels from their distillery
right.
to
super smart.
Yeah, to barrel
those
age.
are hard to get, those barrels. So if you can use them, and just keep using them.
Reuse them, yeah. So they just started their own sour program, and it's going to really kind of take off this year. So right about the time that this airs, they'll be doing some of their sours for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've had a bunch of their IPAs, and they have a really good milk stout that was like outstanding. One of the first beers of theirs that I had. This, like he said, is a seasonal, and you can only get it through, I think June is the end for this one, maybe.
Interesting.
It's either June or July is when the next beer comes out, and it's a hazy with guava and something else. There's
Nice.
2 fruits in it for a month or 2, and then the next batch comes out of another seasonal. So they really rotate the seasonals through, which is nice.
Said it pairs well with sunshine and swimming pools.
I would agree with that.
It's very much a summer beer.
It was very much a summer beer. And the more you drink it, the more it's just it's just nice. It's just nice, and the pineapple's nice.
I feel like I get more pineapples that warmed up a little bit.
You definitely do. Yeah, as it was not very pineapple facing when it was cold.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, real good.
I'm glad you bought us a 6-pack of this because I'll definitely enjoy another one at some point.
Yeah.
So here's the other portion that I have. There's I looked just up the term because I wanted to know if it meant anything, and I still don't know if it means anything. But I found a company that has this name, and so I did a little digging because one of the first things I saw on their website was basically an insert for like a 10-gallon bucket.
Okay.
Like you see on construction sites where they'll put like a tool belt on a bucket.
Oh yeah.
So they make that sort of thing, but it's a beer cooler.
What?
So it has like it's watertight, so you can put ice in the bucket and then throw beers in. So if you have a bucket like that anywhere in your garage or wherever, then you have this thing and you got a cooler instantly. Or just a place to put beers that you're going to drink while you're outside.
That is
and
awesome.
It had pockets on the outside, so you could put your next beers that you're going to put in the ice, you could put them right in there. So
you're on deck beers.
Loaded. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like, okay, well, I got to research this. I got to find out about this company. And they basically make outdoor products. They were founded in Hawaii, and then the business moved to the foot of Mount Hood in Oregon.
Okay.
They basically sell things for mountain bikers, snowboarders, surfers, kiteboarding, whatever that's something I would never do.
Yep.
That sort of stuff. So they sell bags and so if you're going to go skiing and you need to fly with your skis, then they make a bag for that.
Oh.
Or snowboard bags or gear, accessories. They make like fanny packs. They had tons of clothes, board shorts, shirts, watches, anything that has to do with that sort of activity. This company makes it.
So Chris Madrigal is probably ordered from this place.
If he hasn't, I was looking at some stuff and I was like, he would definitely like this.
We should introduce him to it.
So yeah, it's the same name, whatever we're gonna say, Dakine.
I'm gonna go with Dakine.
We're gonna say that.
I think it's hard to argue with the SpongeBob.
That's what I think, but I'm just a guy in a cubicle thinking about these things. What was the other thing I was gonna say about this one? Oh yeah, I definitely talked about that. Mostly, it was surfing stuff. And then it was very much about just being outdoors. So Mount Hood is the area where the Mount Hood is, I think is a town. I got to see if I found it in my notes. Hood River is what it's called. And that's now becoming a very popular mountain biking destination, kind of like when we were talking about Bentonville.
Oh, yes, exactly.
It's like the northwest version of that. So a lot of people are going there for that reason.
Minus the Waltons.
Yeah, no Walton family, but
No.
that's what's going on there. So I think that's probably why this company is in that area.
I wonder why they relocated.
I think it seemed like pretty much right away. Like they started in Hawaii, and then like 2 years later that we were in Oregon. But they've been around since 1977, from what I could tell. So they've been around for 40-some years.
We'll have to ask Chris if he had ordered anything from there ever.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
interesting.
see if he knows the word.
Yeah. So, all right, Biddle, give me living in St. Louis. We got to talk about it because the evil empire is,
this is
there,
the Clydesdale
right?
in the room.
Right?
Yep.
And so how does a microbrew survive? I've always wondered that. Like, how does a microbrewery survive there in St. Louis? And you don't think of St. Louis as like a big craft beer town at all. Probably because of that. But there's still some stuff, and this stuff is pretty good. How do they survive there?
So you wouldn't, with Anheuser-Busch, the big boy being there, you would think like they just absolutely dominate everything. But there is a very, very big craft scene brewery. Like there's O'Fallon Brewery, there's Four Hands. I'm blanking on a few of them now that I sent out an email about.
Yeah.
Schlafly?
Schlafly's one. And then what is the one that I sent out the email about that I really liked? I don't know.
The one that you've been to, yeah.
Yeah. But there is just such a craft beer scene there because, Anheuser-Busch is great and they bring a lot to the table with that, but people are still pro St. Louis, pro small guy, if you will. So they'll go out of their way. Like I see Anheuser-Busch as being the big attraction for the out-of-town people. Like the people that live there, it's always been there. Yeah, you go on a tour. You can only go on those tours so many times, but you can go out and experience different things and get really good beers at some of these smaller craft breweries and tap rooms. So I think they're servicing a different market, essentially.
Well, maybe Anheuser-Busch is what gets people to town.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, for nowadays, I don't know. I mean, it's probably because I'm kind of in the middle of this like culture and lifestyle, and I have definitely taken vacations just to go to breweries. So I mean, that's my thinking, but I don't know why anybody would go to Colorado just to go visit Coors. You know what I mean? I don't see that as something that is happening. No. Now, if I'm in St. Louis and I'm by AnheuserBusch, yeah, I'd like to see those Clydesdales and see that museum or whatever they've got, but yeah, it's not the main reason I'm going.
To be fair to them, like we've done the tour twice with different nurses that are have been there when we've gone to do meet and greets and stuff like that. And I've done it twice. It's the history there is pretty spectacular. Like when you just the history of the brewery itself in that area is pretty awesome. But you're right. It's one of those things like you can only do it so many times. Like if we went a third time, I'd probably pass. Yeah. Or whatever. But it's worth going to see at least once. We did the Coors tour in Golden, which I guess honestly, if you had to compare the two, the Budweiser tour is better.
There you go.
The Coors one was fine, but the Budweiser tour was way better.
So yes, was it Saturday? I was at Laszlo's in Lincoln, Empyrean for lunch, and the table behind me was a bunch of people that were visiting Lincoln, so they were not from there. And this is a brewery that makes their own beer, right?
Right.
But they're also a place that has other beers too, which I don't know. I'm one of those that if you're at my brewery, you're gonna drink my beer.
You're drinking my beer.
So they were like, yeah, can we get like 4 Coors Lights and a Bud Light? And my skin just was crawling. And I just wanted to turn around and scream at them. Like, you're at a brewery.
Right.
And they were younger people. Like, that's usually something I've seen in bars, like especially on game day Husker football, when you're at breweries downtown, Boiler or something, and you get an older guy that's in there and he wants a Budweiser. But these were people that would be in the market of like craft beer, like 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds, and they were like, yeah, could we get some Coors Lights at the brewery for lunch? And I was just like, oh, come on.
That's no good. I do, like, I understand that from an aspect, though, because sometimes I've been to a lot of breweries that you branch out and try something new, and you're paying for a $6, $7 beer that you get and you really don't like. So if it's the balance there. So I see why I would never go to a brewery and order, like, be at a brewery and order a Coors or a Budweiser or something that I've had a million times before. Like, you take that risk, you take that gamble. That's why you go there. But I could see people being a little too much outside of their comfort zone.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I guess, like, at least for the place I was at, they're pretty standard. Like, they haven't changed their menu in years.
No, right.
So you kind of know what you're getting there. But I guess if you're not from Nebraska, then that's a different story.
If you're not from there, I guess that,
But they still have a lager and a wheat and, like, very approachable beers, too. And I think if you're going to go to a brewery, like Biddle says, you kind of know what you're getting, right? So you should...
In general,
so that gets fixed by that brewery not serving the Coors or the Budweiser.
Even if they don't, they say, well, we got something real similar to that.
Right.
You want to try it? And then if they don't like it, then say, okay, we can try to scrounge up some Bud Lights from the closet.
Right.
Give it to you.
Born on date of 1988.
Yeah. The dude's back on the line back there. That's what they drink during their break. We'll get a couple from them.
That's what they clean the stovetop with. Pour it on there.
But most, like we've talked about this before, most of these breweries will give you a little taster, right? I mean, they will let you try it first before you commit to a pint or whatever.
Right. That's very true too. That going that aspect. I also think that maybe the reason that like St. Louis does have so many microbrews or smaller brews is. With big Anheuser-Busch being there and people being in that industry, who says they don't, their employees don't pony up to the table and say, you know what, I'm going to branch out and try something on my own. And how much, I think that would be interesting to find out how many of those brews in St. Louis have ties back to Budweiser itself.
That's a good point, because like here in Omaha, Nebraska area, like everybody that has a brewery has worked at Nebraska Brewing Company. It seems like everybody's worked that canning line. That's where they started, and now they're running their own places.
And now they're doing their own.
You got to get experience somewhere,
Right.
And if you got that passion, then if that's your thing,
I guess you get your experience somewhere, and then you go, you make the leap or whatever.
It's something that's interesting to me, and obviously we always talk about cross-train guys, but doing something that you're passionate about, like knowing that first of all. So they go and at least one of them goes and works the canning line, right, just to be in the industry.
Yep.
Right, just to get that experience and get a taste of it, and works from his bottom up all the way to now has his own brewery. I think that's pretty cool, but I don't know if I would ever have the stones to do that.
Well,
give up a good job to go my passion and take a huge pay cut. That's scary.
it's only pay cut for a while, though, right? Until
Well, if you're good at it.
If you're good at it.
Yeah.
If you're making the right move.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you've got to just kind of know, and maybe it was. Who knows? Maybe it was them together that that kind of pushed each other in the right direction, or whatever. So, I wonder how many of those breweries there in St. Louis, like, what's the ratio of the breweries that have started there that have been purchased by Anheuser-Busch?
Oh yeah, I as far as like ownership of St. Louis breweries, other than Anheuser-Busch, like what breweries does Budweiser have a stake in, or AB have a stake in? I don't know, but that is something that on the tour, like whenever you look at their wall of beers that they have, and it's a lot of beers that you don't see the big name AB behind it,
Sure.
but
That's
you know,
smart business.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So they're tapping into that market a little bit and then growing there. So, the biggest one thing, I love Kona Brewing Company.
Me too.
And I don't think that they make a bad beer. And I was really surprised whenever I went on that tour and I was like, hey, guess what? AB owns Kona Brewing
Kona,
Company.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's
312.
a website or something you could probably see. I'm guessing maybe they want to show that off, but maybe they don't. Maybe they want to keep that hush hush.
Maybe.
Just for that reason.
I don't think that it's like a show off versus hush hush. I think like if you wanted to know, you could know, but
Yeah.
they're not going to be out there advertising.
They're not
you
just
know,
going to say,
right, right.
Anheuser-Busch presents.
Yeah.
Right.
Kona.
Brewing
Shock
Company.
Top.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That was the disappointing thing for me when I was there. It was Kona, and the first time I went was super early in my beer journey, and Shock Top was like one of the beers on tap at the end. I was like, man, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. That sucked.
Is it Goose Island that has 312?
Goose
Yeah.
has three.
Yeah. So they own Goose Island.
and
too.
they own Goose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I love some Goose Island.
Wasn't it Chicago based?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Cubbies.
Still there. They're still up there too,
Yeah, good.
which is interesting now because Bell's Brewing Company out of Michigan
Yeah.
is the official craft beer of Cubs baseball. So,
Wow.
and it was Goose for a while, and now
they're not craft
They're not
anymore,
craft anymore.
Right.
So now it's Bell's.
Interesting. What about the Cardinals games? What do they have there? Do you know?
They have nothing. You don't want to go to those at all.
But
They have pretty much any type of beer that you want to
Yeah.
have. They had I had a Natter Days. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We've had
those-
that.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had these.
Yeah, I
Nolan
went there.
loves that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's shaking his head. He's pretending.
He loves it.
He's being all cool about it. Like, no.
Beer nerd.
So do your guys' grocery stores here, like, it's been forever since I've been to an Omaha grocery store, but do they have like canning of beers?
Like
here?
a crowler machine?
Like a growler machine or a canning machine?
No.
No.
No. Oh, so Schnucks in St. Louis, like the grocery stores that we always go to, they have like in their beer and wine section, they'll have different beers on tap, and they
Come
rotate
on.
them out like all the time.
This sounds heavenly.
Whoa,
It's always
This is the thing?
This
They
is the
have
thing.
Beers on tap?
yes, at the grocery store.
Can
So
you shop for groceries and drink a beer at the
Yeah,
same time?
yeah. You
Shut
can do
your
it
mouth.
with wine too. Like
No.
you can. Yes. Yeah.
I'd be at the grocery store all day.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, St. Louis isn't so
Forget
bad.
everything on
Right.
the list.
So and it's glorious. So it's all like usually Missouri breweries that like have on tap, and you can walk up and you can say, I want a 36 or 64 ounce growler, and they make you a growler right there, or a 32 ounce growler.
awesome.
Or if it's something that it's great, I love it for trying different beers that you haven't tried before, because you can also just they have a canning machine right there.
Okay.
So they hit it with the nitro, they pour your beer in off the tap, and then they seal the top of the can on it right there. They write on it what it is, and then you go check out, and you've got yourself a single beer of whatever you wanted to try
Wow.
At a grocery store.
at a grocery store.
Yeah, I remember when Whole Foods showed up, that was a big thing. Like, oh, you can drink a beer while you're walking around Whole Foods. That's great.
You can do that at Whole Foods?
Yeah.
No, you're making
Yes,
that up.
you
I don't-
can, right? Dolan says yeah.
He would know.
We'll see tomorrow. Rich is arrested for drinking in Whole Foods.
I'm
but
going to
Lunchtime
try
Whole
this out.
Foods.
Yeah, I mean, Hy-Vee's is probably the biggest grocery store chain in Nebraska, and they
Yeah.
have like craft bars in their stores.
Some
now.
of them do, yeah.
but you can't. There's no like, yeah.
No
Whole
to-go
Foods.
beers.
You're serious. Whole
Yeah,
Foods. So
yeah.
I'd just be hammering a beer, shopping for
As
some
far as
quinoa.
as far
No.
as I understand, yeah.
Now, is this a beer that you brought in yourself, or do you
Oh, yeah.
beer there?
Like
How
my-
does this work?
And they have a little bar. I remember one that's over by the office. They have a bar right when you're walking towards the registers. The Whole Foods does. You
It's
just
been a
sit right
while.
in the bar.
It's been a while since I've been to Whole Foods.
It's like open, and you don't have to go into another separate part of the store or anything. You just sit down at the bar in the middle of the store. Pretty great.
For real?
Yeah.
I need to go Whole Foods more.
That's why the bread's like $7 a loaf. But,
But at that point, you'll pay. Be like,
yeah, you don't care. You load up, man.
Yep.
For sure.
Especially when your wife calls you after you've been gone for 3 hours. And,
Yeah, you forgot all the groceries.
And you forgot all the groceries.
You have 3 beers and then hit that person in the juice cleanse aisle that's like, hey, you want to do a 7-day juice? Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
So, as far as pineapple beers go, where's this one for you? Have you had many?
This is pretty darn good. I've had some. This is different than any pineapple beer I've really had because sweetness always follows, and there isn't with this.
Yeah. Infusion here in town has a pineapple IPA that comes out only in the summertime.
Okay.
And it's pretty good, but this one has way more pineapple, like real pineapple juice flavor. And so I definitely prefer this one. It's super tasty. And we did one, didn't we do another pineapple beer?
I want to say that one
back?
from, it's not Founders. It was Staycation. Wasn't that a Staycation?
Yeah, that's right.
Was that a Founders beer? Or
No.
was that a...
I can't remember.
But Staycation...
Surly.
Surly.
It was
That's who
Surly.
it was. Yep.
And that one was pretty good too, but I prefer this one. I think
I
it's
kind of
great.
prefer this one too. But to be fair, it was different. It was
Well, that was a milkshake too. That
right.
was a milkshake IPA.
So sweeter, different. This is way more kind of on the tart or sour side with some hops at the end. That hop
Yeah.
flavor at the end.
But it sure didn't look like an IPA pouring it, man. It looked like a Saison almost.
Yep.
It was crazy.
Totally different.
Lot of flavor in there. It was great.
All right, so let's take a look at the old Untapped.
'Kay.
13,000 ratings.
Whoa.
I was shocked.
For
how
a
many.
seasonal.
For a seasonal.
Yeah.
This might not be the first season that's come out. Then I'm
No,
guessing.
guessing not.
No, I
but
think
that's,
it came out in 2018. So
Okay, well,
that's
been-
pretty
it's
good in a
only 2
year.
cycles,
I mean, there's
right?
only sell it 4 months a year.
wow.
So somebody's drinking this down in St. Louis.
13,000.
Yeah.
Biddle, yeah, that's a good choice. Okay, what do you think? 13,000 rankings.
3.38.
3.7.
Okay.
And that's really close. I'd go 3.75.
Yeah,
on
I
this.
think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I really think
I think
for
you picked a winner
for
here.
an IPA.
For one that we can't even pronounce the name of. We
Right.
don't know.
Right.
Very tasty.
We tried to call the brewery before we came on the air here.
Should we try it again?
Yeah, give them a call. Let's see. Let's
do
give
it
'em a call.
live. Do we have to tell them we're recording this?
Nope.
I don't think so.
I don't think
No,
so
you do
either.
not.
Do you don't?
We can use this in a court of law.
Biddle knows the rules.
I
Here,
do.
He makes the rules.
here we go.
What if I leave it? Do I need to leave a message?
I would
No,
leave a message.
just hang up real fast.
I can't believe.
Please leave a message for the tasting.
Come on.
All right, I'm going to go 3.5 now.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Because they
something.
don't
My
answer the
ranking. If they would have
phone.
answered the phone and told us how to pronounce it, I would have went 4.
Look,
Ooh.
unless they're just selling a shitload of this right now,
half-point swing.
then
It might be real busy there.
maybe it's busy. I don't know. Cardinals are in town, right? I think Cardinals are in
I
town.
don't know, but it's a Monday.
Yeah, true. Yeah, well.
That's how it goes.
Well, Biddle, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for bringing us
Yeah,
this
thanks for
beer.
that beer. It was great.
Absolutely.
There's a couple others back there that we won't drink and talk about, but I will definitely drink them, and then I'll let
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's fine.
what I think about them. So, well, Brian, we'll end the same way we always do.
Yeah.
We ain't going anywhere for a while.
Let's have another beer.